All right, midlife beauty besties, today it's time to talk about that one little section of our face that's super important to our makeup look, but we sort of skip over it really quick, and a little bit of color, a little bit of shape, and we call it good. We are talking about our eyebrows. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Jody. I'm 55. Think of me as your midlife beauty bestie, where today we're gonna talk about the brows. We're gonna rescue the brows. Some of us need some help with the brows, and you're gonna need some scissors, I know. And you're also gonna need some tweezers. When's the last time you've heard that when it comes to talking about your brows? I know, but we're gonna use these two very, dare I say, surgically and strategically. All right, so when it comes to the eyebrows, for those of us over 50, if you need to color your brows, or if you want to, you don't need to do any of this stuff. If you want to color your brows, if you find that they're turning gray and you're not ready for that, I really like the Just for Men beard dye when it comes to my eyebrows. The Just for Men beard is really easy to work with. It comes with a small tube of color and a small activator and then a tray, so you can mix the smallest amount. You just do equal. I should have done it and filmed it, but it's very easy. You just do equal amounts of both, mix it up and use what you need, and then you still have a lot of product left. It could last you a very long time. That's just a side note, but let's talk about our brows as they sit on your face today, because we need to shape them most of the time. The first thing that we want to do after you get the gray covered, if you choose to, is press them up with your fingers. Now, as your friend, I'm just reminding you that this is an important step to do pretty regularly, because it's like Jack and the Beanstalk. One will go really quick, and before you know it, it's reaching for the stars. So go like that against the grain, push them all up. You can certainly comb them if you'd like. I just do that because I just get to see everything. Then take your scissors and just trim anything that is way out of whack. And I don't trim them right at the brow line, because I do think that a little length, when you comb it this way, it's like a comb over. It just gives you a little bit of fullness where maybe you have more sparse brows. But the reason you want to cut these is because when you turn sideways, you most likely at our age have a few that are sticking way out that you may not even be aware of because you look at your face straight on. But your friends and family see it, and the nice ones will tell you. And even if they're nice, they may not want to hurt your feelings and tell you. So here we are. We're just going to talk about it while no one's around. Put this video in front of your vanity. Go ahead and flip it so you're up to 10x, because we really need to see what's going on in there. Don't look from here down, because most likely there's something on your chin that you don't want to see right now. Take a look at that after. We'll just focus on the eyebrows for today. And know that you're not alone. I looked at the 10x last night and had my tweezers and was like, ow, ow, ow. It just happens. Okay, now that we have trimmed them the way that we want, here is my, I wouldn't say it's a rule of thumb, but here's what I love to do. You can go on Amazon and get some templates. I like these ones by Mad Love. I used to use the stamp kit. I haven't used that in a really long time, although very helpful. I just like to use the templates because every once in a while, after you've plucked yourself, you start to lose the shape. And I have gone through all the shapes of the templates that I had in this kit and found the two that I like the most. I highly recommend you go through this process, get something that has a bunch of templates, and go through and find the template that works best for the shape that you like. Now, what you'll notice is over time, we don't have the same length that we used to, but that comes in really handy as we go through this process. So we're still at the plucking process. We're not at the filling in process yet. Now, because I like a bolder brow, my templates certainly offer a bolder brow. They also all go out a little bit more on the tail, and as I've gotten older, the tail of my brow just goes down. So I do spend a little time plucking there. But here's what you want to do, you guys. Once you get the template shape that you like, is before you start plucking anything, go into an eyeshadow palette where you've got pretty dark colors, you know, those ones that we hardly ever use. Get that on a small brush. This is BK Beauty's 207. Get your template right where you like your brow, and then put that dark color where the template is. Because what we're going to do after we have colored in our template, now this is not the brow we're gonna live with. This is the brow, look, I feel like I'm looking under a visor. This is not the brow we're gonna live with. This is for the plucking process. So go dark with your shadow because you really wanna see it. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to pull that template off. And yes, that is a Groucho Marx brow. That's not what we're going to do. Now that I have that template, if you will, of where I want my brow to be eventually, I'm going to take my tweezers and pluck anything that is outside of that template. Because as I do my eyebrows for my makeup look, I don't want to take anything away from the template. So anything outside. And you can see my brow down here is microbladed from literally 10 years ago. I wish I had never got it because now you can see that it points down and I'd rather my brow go out a little bit. That's just for me personally. I wish I would not have done the microblading, or I wish I'd have done the shape different. But shapes change over time, and once you microblade it, you're kind of stuck with that shape. So anyway, I'm just going to pluck anything that is outside of that template. And of course, now once you have that done, take your template and flip it over because now it's the other eye, same shape. Now what I like about this technique before you use your tweezers is I like the ability of matching the brows so that you're not tweezing one side and then going to tweeze the other without a template, and before you know it, they don't look the same. Now, brows are supposed to be sisters, not twins, but if you don't use a template process like this, they're not even gonna look like they're in the same family tree. So you definitely want to use a template process before you start plucking. Now, one of the advantages of being 50 plus is once you pluck, this is not a process that you have to do over and over and over again as we get older because the hair just doesn't grow back as fast. So again, I'm just gonna do it so that then I can pull this back and go, okay, those look about the same height. They look about the same in the front, although this one needs to come forward a little bit. So I would just wipe this away and start over. Once you have the templates where you want them, then you can start plucking on this side so that both brows match from a plucking perspective. Important tip here, clean off that brush that you just did that really dark marking with, or else the next time you go to blend your eyeshadow, you're gonna be really surprised in a natural smoky eye and you didn't even mean to. Now I'm just gonna take a little bit of micellar water on a Q-tip and get rid of that darker eyeshadow. I should have kept my brows like that to see what my husband would say. Now that we have trimmed and shaped our brows, it is time for our actual makeup application. Now because I know that mine are short, I am gonna go right here and leave a mark on both sides just by running that pencil up the side of my nose and up to the top. That's about where your eyebrow should start. And to get that tail, a good rule of thumb is to take the pencil from the corner of your nose, corner of your eye, and then mark it. So mine are definitely too short on both ends. So because I have some filling in to do of actual brow, I don't want to just color that in with a solid line because then it will look really fake. So that's why I use the Fake Brow by L'Oreal. This has 2 felt tips on it, so it actually looks like hair strands or hair strokes when you have applied it. So you can see where my template is. I'm just gonna go in and create hair strokes. I have it in color taupe. While it's still wet, I like to go with my finger and have a straight line across the bottom. And then you can just go in and fill in your brows where they're sparse. If you like that look, which I do. And then bring it out to that point on the end. Once this dries down, those brows are like a felt tip marker on your face. They don't go anywhere. So I love this pen, and it does take a little bit of time practice. I would actually practice on the back of your hand because you want to press a little bit and then lighten up as you go to create that brush stroke, because where you press the pen, that's where the most pigment's going to come, and then you want to lighten it as it goes away. So practice on your hand a little bit. Once you get the feel of it, you'll see how the product works. Then you'll be more comfortable going on your face. If you make mistakes, it's no big deal. Just take a Q-tip with some micellar water on it and go back in and clean it up and start over. Now, if you're unsure how to do this, you guys, you can always take that template that you used earlier and put it back on your eye and just kind of use it to help give yourself some shape. There's no worries with that. That's what these were originally made for. Like I said, this one by Mad Love comes with a stamp, and I do like it. I kind of forgot to use it, and I've just started using pencil again, but it is meant to do that. You can absolutely do that. I just think since that whole laminated brow look has been in, I like this look a little better. And then if you do need to go back in and fill them in a little bit to give them more structure, I like this volumizing pen by Benefit. And I like to have my pencil in a one shade lighter. And I like to have my pencil one shade lighter than this fake brow. I just feel like it gives a little bit. And I like to have my brow pencil one shade lighter than this fake brow. I just feel like it gives a little bit more of a natural look when they're both not the exact same shade. And then to polish up the look, I'll take a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand, pick it up with a eyebrow pencil brush, and just really lightly go underneath the brows. I'm gonna go a little more aggressive just so you guys can kind of see it. I like to just have the straight line across the bottom. I like the top to be a little bit more jagged. It looks more natural to me. And then once you've drawn that straight line, just kind of pull it down. You can do this with your finger. You don't have to get so precise. If you look at professional makeup artists and when they're showcasing some of their work, if you really zoom in and look at that eyebrow area, 9 times out of 10, you'll see a really clean line, and this is how they achieve that look. And for the last step, I will set these brows. This is the 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. It comes in a larger one. I just like a small one because I just like to go through it faster and then start with a fresh one. I don't like having a big one of these because I'm constantly pumping air in it, so I just like to go through a smaller one. And I like to comb them up just a little. And that is a complete eyebrow routine. You can adjust the shape of your brows, you can adjust the shade of the brow pencil. So eyebrows are meant to adjust with either current trends or whatever look you are loving. Some days I'll go with a bolder brow like this and then a darker lip. Some days I'll go with a lighter colored brow and a thinner brow and less of an arch brow. I change the shapes of my brows pretty regularly just to mix up the whole look. And you'll notice that when you do just the subtle changes, it does change your look. So if you love the way your makeup looks with the eyebrow that you're currently using, then stick with that. I just feel like the older I get, the more I want to have fun with it and kind of break out of my mold, because at this age, who cares? I want to do whatever the heck I want to do. All right, you guys, I hope this was helpful. Let me know down below if you have changed the shape of your eyebrows as of late, or if you're still rocking the ones that you had 20 years ago. No judgment. I love all of it. Looking for more beauty tutorials? Well, here's one that the algorithm picked out especially for you. I'll see you guys in just a couple days. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.